Listen, Matt, thank you so much for sitting down with me. The Midwest Innocence Project, I am their community engagement officer. I got that job 30 days after I came home and very happy to serve in that capacity. Also happy to have learned that Koch Industries was willing to do a lot of case screening to help bring innocent individuals home. So first and foremost, thank you for sitting down with me today. And before we kind of get into some of the deeper questions, I want to ask you, can you tell us your name and your position at Koch?
Yeah, so my name's Matt Ellis, and I'm a commercial attorney here at Koch. So I support our fertilizer and methanol businesses. And beyond that, I also am the co-chair of our pro bono initiative. So another attorney and myself have started and kind of lead all the pro bono efforts that we do, and the Midwest Innocence Project is one of the things that is really a pillar of our pro bono initiative.
Yeah, how big is that pro bono project, if you might mind answering?
Yeah, so I guess there's different ways you could quantify it. We've had, I think, about 100 different volunteers working on projects, and about 40 of those are doing case screens with the Midwest Innocence Project.
Okay.
So that kind of gives a little bit of scope.
That is definitely context, and we feel it. We feel that work back at the Midwest Innocence Project. So that definitely speaks volumes to the effectiveness of the program that you guys are running. When did you decide yourself? When did you yourself decide to become a volunteer regarding the work of innocence?
Yeah, well, Ricky, I've been with Koch for almost 10 years, and before I came to Koch, I was at a law firm in Dallas. And at the law firm, I was able to get involved with someone who had been freed through the Innocence Project. And, that man had been wrongfully imprisoned for decades. And then I was with a team that helped him then receive, under state law in Texas, compensation for the years that he had been in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we were able to meet with that man and work with him and see that, get the result that he had been working for, and just to look in his eyes was something that it really changed me. Just like looking into your eyes, I mean, just to see someone who's been down that path and knows what it's like to have been serving time for something that you didn't do. That changed me when I had that experience. So when I came to Koch and we started our pro bono initiative, I had the thought, well, we should contact the Innocence Project.
Yeah.
We should see what we can do to help out. And as we talked to Tricia, we found out that they had hundreds of cases that were just in a backlog, people who needed their case screened so that the Innocence Project could decide, they should move forward and continue that process. And, I wasn't sure if there would be a lot of people that would be interested in doing that kind of work here or not. But when we talked to Tricia, we got a program started just last March, right before COVID hit. And it's been really neat to see how many people have answered the call and have stepped forward and have taken on cases. We've had our own people here at Koch, and we've also had a lot of lawyers from some of our outside law firms that have been teaming up with us as well to help the Midwest Innocence Project with this backlog of cases that need to be screened, people whose cases need to be reviewed to find out, what happened, what can be done next to help these people really have things evaluated in light of all the facts.
Yeah. And it isn't just, it isn't just I'm innocent. We don't just get to reach out to these organizations and say I'm innocent, take my case. They're very thorough. There's a very thorough process, and a part of that process is a case screening. Not only to determine is an individual innocent, but can we then prove by legal standards that this individual is innocent? That is also a tedious part of the work. It really takes extra hands and extra eyes to roll up your sleeves and get in on that.
Yeah.
That's why the weight of what you do, what you all do here at Koch Industries means so much. It means so much to me, and although I'm here and I'm free, I know that many men and women continue to languish in maximum prisons across the country for crimes they did not commit. And I cannot help but think that there's going to be a direct impact stemming from the program and partnership with Koch and the Midwest Innocence Project. So thank you. We want to say thank you so much to all of you who has worked so hard and diligently to keep this fight going.
Well, it's our pleasure, and you're very welcome. We hope that we can continue to, chip away at this thing. And like you said, our people here, our volunteers, are not experts in criminal law, and that's not part of our normal day job here at Koch, and we don't have appellate experts, but yet we can go through and do a lot of the legwork that needs to be done to summarize and identify things, and then help really flag things so that the Midwest Innocence Project, they're the experts, and they can get into taking then that kind of the digested version and then help identify, well, what needs to happen next and what really could make a difference in the system.
Yeah, and traction is being gained. Traction continues to be gained with the efforts that we're doing, not just here in the Midwest region, but across the country. I'm on an email thread from the Innocence Network, and we're constantly seeing a significant drip, or rather a constant drip of congratulations, new reports that a client has come home. It is so exciting to see that. I want to share that with you and to the listening audience so that people know. They don't get to see that email thread, or it doesn't always make its way to CNN or the mainstream news, but I do want you to know there's a constant drip of innocent individuals reuniting with their family, and it is because of the MVPs, the most valuable people. Who are those MVPs? The volunteers. The volunteers, certainly here at Koch Industries as well. I want to ask you this question, Matt. What have you found to be most rewarding about helping innocent individuals come home? Can you answer that?
Yeah, it's I think, like I said a little bit before, the most rewarding thing to me is to just when you get to meet someone, and like that, just that look in their eyes. There's something, I think, someone's soul speaks to another person's soul, right? When you know that a wrong has been righted, and if there's a way to play a small part in that process, to me that's very rewarding. And with this work with Innocence Project, not everything that you look at is going to lead to a result like your result, right? But on the front end, I guess we don't know which case will be that one, and so just I guess we just take a look at all of them and try to work it down. But the most rewarding part is to see see the successes and see that there really is fruit from all the hard work that goes in.
Yeah, I am so personally and professionally, I'm so excited when I think about the work that Koch Industries is doing in your pro bono space, because this issue of wrongful convictions is important stuff. The National Registry for Exoneration have put some alarming stats out there that shows that the proof is definitely in the numbers as it relates to individuals who's coming home and individuals who continue to be in prison, as well as what are the underlying reasons that cause wrongful convictions in the first place. Koch Industries has led our country in so many spaces, in so many different industries. So it is exciting and inspiring, at least for myself and my colleagues back at MIP. I hope for those who are listening to say, hey, you know what? We all get to do something about this. And we are doing something about it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, pretty cool. My next question to you, Matt, would then be, have you ever had the chance to meet an exoneree?
So yes, of course, I got to meet you today.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, I did get to meet another exoneree in Texas, and it was just wonderful to be able to meet him, right? I had learned so much about his experience and his story, his wrongful conviction, and then the battle that he had even after he had gotten out. Just even though you're exonerated and you're free, there's still challenges that come with it, and just knowing some of those, it was wonderful just to meet him, and I truly had an instant admiration for his grit and his character, and just his outlook on life, and how he was looking to the future. So it's also nice to meet you as another exoneree.
Yeah. It's, I often used to say that it's nice to be met. It's nice to be met because that means something went right.
Yes.
That means something went right. Other than that, we would not have been met. I would still be languishing inside a 5x7 cell in a Missouri State Penitentiary. So again, it is nice to be met. Do you, Matt? Do you see yourself continuing this work? And if so, what would you say would be the motivation behind such a decision?
I definitely see myself continuing this, and it's been really, I guess, inspiring to me just to see how many of my colleagues have also felt a desire to get involved. And to me, that's great to see that so many people recognize the great cause that this is, and want to get involved. And so, yes, I definitely plan to keep involved, and hope that more people that are curious about it will raise their hand and say, hey, what do I need to do, or how do I get involved? Because we'd love to have more people get involved, and you don't have to be an expert in this area, but we can definitely the Innocence Project has helped train us, and I know we can help train other people to step in, and the more people that do that, it's something that can just keep growing to keep achieving great results. And like you said, it's something that is growing, I think, nationally, to be able to help and impact more. And I can't help but think, but I've seen the video of when you were released, and just coming out, and just to think of how many others there are who just to be released, and to be able to see their family again, and loved ones in free circumstances, that's very motivating to me.
You spoke about it growing and inspiring others, and hopefully that is what the work that we do, hopefully it is inspiring others. That is something that's extremely important to me everywhere we go on the behalf of MIP and myself personally. Two things that matter to us when we walk in that building: education and inspiring, making sure that we are educating and inspiring others. That's why we turn the cameras on, not just for vanity's sake or because we're bored and just want to hear ourselves talk, but hopefully somebody will listen and be willing to be inspired. Let's say somebody is listening right there in that camera. I would ask that you look in that camera, Matt, and what would you tell them about becoming involved in the space of criminal justice reform if they're on the fence?
Yeah. Well, if you've ever seen any of the true crime stories or Netflix series, I mean, there's all kinds of things out there. And if any of that has ever struck a chord with you, there's a way that you can get involved and help someone like Ricky. And so if you're curious, ask a question, and whether it's Innocence Project, whether it's through our initiative, or there's so many people that can help make that happen, because everyone can make a difference in this space.
Yeah, I second that. For many years, I felt that the Calvary was not coming, and the Calvary did come. And the first people who showed up were MVPs, most valuable people, who are volunteers. And so, yes, if you feel that there is something minimum you can do, maybe you don't have a lot of extra disposable income, maybe you don't even have a lot of time to spare, but if you have any time to spare, please consider getting involved either through the MIP at the MIP.org or through the Koch Industry Pro Bono Project. Matt, the work of volunteers is so important. We call them MVPs, most valuable people. Organizations cannot do the work that they do or produce the results that we've been seeing produced without MVPs. And so we really appreciate Koch Industries Pro Bono Department partnership with the Midwest Innocence Project. And I want to tell people who might be listening, who might want to become volunteers or continue the work you do and volunteer, do not hesitate to reach out to the MIP.org and click get involved so that we can help move this proverbial needle and help bring other innocent individuals home. That's important work. That's something that we get to do together. Before we go, Matt, is there anything else you would like to share?
Yeah, I think about just my own experience in working with Innocence Project over the last 10 years. And, I had my first experience, and then I came to Koch. And before we got involved with the Midwest Innocence Project, through some volunteer work at church, I worked with a man who had already served his time and gotten out, and so hadn't had the chance to have his case really reviewed. And just through experiences like that, and now getting involved again with Midwest Innocence Project, it just really is, I feel, a type of call to keep helping in this regard. And I know there's a lot of great work that is yet to be done. And like you said, so many people who are still inside and wondering, well, when is someone going to get to look at my case and allow me to have a chance to get looked at? So we appreciate the Midwest Innocence Project and all the work that they're doing. And we also are grateful for all the people within our own program who have been answering the call to help and pitch in on this. And we hope that we, as people have those experiences for themselves, that they'll have a desire to keep working and stay involved.
Well, on the behalf of the Midwest Innocence Project, my colleagues, but also on the behalf of men and women languishing in prison, I speak for both groups. We want to say wholeheartedly and sincerely thank you. Thank you so much to you and your team for the help you've given.
Thank you, Ricky. It's great.